I used to believe one thing. If I gave my son enough love, one day he would love me back. That was my hope, my dream, but I was wrong. My name is Claire Bennett, and this is the story of how my own son planned my death. And how I chose to live. It started with a phone call. "Mom, I just transferred the money," I said gently. $300,000 just like you asked. Make sure you get good food for Lena and the baby. On the other end, my son Ethan laughed lightly. "Of course, Mom, I'm going to be a father now. You better believe I'll take care of my family." His voice was sweet, too sweet. I wanted to believe it. But as I was about to hang up, I heard something, a voice in the background. Finally, the old woman sent the money. It was Lena's voice. My heart stopped. I didn't say a word, I just listened. "She's so cautious," Ethan replied with a scoff. "We had to fake a pregnancy just to get that cash." Something inside me cracked. I stood still in my quiet kitchen, the phone shaking in my hand. For years, I had paid off Ethan's debts. Gambling, late bills, stupid decisions. I always helped. Because I thought that's what mothers do. But now I finally saw the truth. 2 days later, Ethan and Lena showed up at my front door, smiling, carrying a bag of vitamins, acting like nothing had happened. "We thought you could use a health boost," Ethan said, placing the bottle into my hands. Lena's smile was perfect, like a movie actress. "Ethan talks about you all the time," she said. "He's just been busy." I looked at them and nodded gently. Oh, that means so much to me. If they wanted to act, I would play along. A few minutes later, they sat on my couch and shared their real plan. "Lena's pregnant," Ethan said. "Our apartment is too small. We were hoping to stay here just for a little while." Of course, they wanted my house. It was a peaceful home near the center of a quiet town worth over $1 million. "You can stay," I said calmly. Ethan's eyes lit up, but he wasn't done. "Actually," he added, "it might be easier if we put the house in my name. I could help with taxes, paperwork, all that stuff." Lena smiled sweetly. "You deserve rest, Claire. Let us handle things now." I smiled again, of course. Their faces showed surprise. They thought I was an easy target, but I had already started watching them closely. Once they moved in, everything changed. Lena woke up early to cook. Ethan cleaned the kitchen. They laughed at my jokes, brought me tea, sat beside me like loving family. But it was all fake. I knew Ethan. He wasn't caring. He was never this kind. And Lena, she had never looked me in the eye. They were waiting for me to transfer the house. One night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed wondering. Was I being too cold? Was I judging them unfairly? And then I heard voices. I got up slowly and walked to the living room. Their voices were low but clear. "As soon as she signs the house over," Ethan whispered, "we kick her out." "She's useless now," Lena giggled. "And the inheritance will be all ours." I couldn't breathe. That was my son, my own child. I stayed quiet. I smiled when they smiled. But inside, something was changing. Then one morning, I noticed something strange. My little dog Teddy, my best friend for 12 years, was missing. He wasn't by the bed, not in the kitchen. His food was untouched. "Teddy," I called. "Where are you, sweet boy?" I searched everywhere. I even walked outside, but there was nothing. No sound, no paw prints. And then I asked Ethan. He looked up from his plate, chewing bacon, and said, "Oh, I took him out this morning, dropped him somewhere far. He was annoying." My heart stopped. "Would," I gasped. "You're 60, he said coldly. "What are you doing with a mutt anyway? You're welcome. One less thing to take care of." I stood there frozen. Teddy was gone, and they didn't care. That day I made a decision. Enough, no more crying, no more hoping. I would end this, but not with shouting, with silence. I smiled, cooked for them, made their favorite meals, creamy pasta, buttery soup, greasy meat, heavy, salty, rich food every day. They loved it, and I watched, quietly. Then one afternoon, I found Ethan's laptop open on the couch. I didn't mean to look, but my eyes caught something. How to take out a life insurance policy on an elderly family member. Best ways to fake an outdoor accident. I went pale. I rushed to an insurance office and asked if anyone had taken out a policy in my name. "Yes," the clerk said, "premium tier, very high value." I held the document in shaking hands. I was not a mother anymore. I was just a payout. When I got home, they greeted me with fake smiles. "We were thinking," Ethan said, "how about a nature trip, just us three, hiking in Sable Creek Forest?" I nodded. "That sounds nice." They looked surprised. They weren't ready for me to agree. I packed my bag that night, but not with hiking clothes, with a plan. The next day we climbed high into the forest. The trail was steep, isolated. Ethan handed me a drink. Electrolytes. It'll help. I smiled, raised the bottle, but never drank. Instead, I offered them energy bars, their favorite kind. They didn't know I had added a little something. Something they had in their own cabinet, sedatives. As soon as they ate them, I collapsed, pretending to faint. They laughed, dragged me toward the cliff's edge. Then suddenly, thump, thump, they fell hard. I stood up, brushed off the dirt, and looked at their unconscious bodies. You thought I was weak, I whispered, but I was always 10 steps ahead. I left them there, in the wild, let them learn what it means to survive. As I walked down the mountain, I heard a voice calling for help. It was a stranger. An injured man lying in the bushes. I called for help, stayed by his side. His name was Daniel Pierce, CEO of a large company. Later, I found out it was the same company Ethan had begged to invest in. Funny how fate works. I returned home, slowly, quietly. When Ethan and Lena finally made it back from the mountain, weak and confused, I greeted them like nothing had happened. I don't remember much, I said with a soft voice. Must have blacked out. But I'm so glad you're okay. They looked at each other, unsure, but said nothing. Soon after, Ethan returned to his office only to find out he had been fired. I offered them a vacation. Let me send you somewhere peaceful. Clear your heads. They accepted, of course. Thailand, first class, my gift to them. While they were gone, I emptied their room, changed the locks, donated everything. And all the vacation money, it wasn't mine. It was Ethan's credit card. Every dollar, every charge, all in his name. When they returned, they found the house locked. Ethan screamed. Lena cursed. You gave us this house. I opened the door just enough to speak. No, I said calmly, you signed a paper. But it wasn't a legal one. You never read the fine print. They stared in shock. Then I gave Ethan one more envelope, a DNA test. You're not my biological son, I said softly. Your mother broke my marriage. I took you in anyway. I gave you everything, and you gave me nothing. He fell to the ground, sobbing, but it was too late. You tried to kill me for money, I whispered. Now live with what you've done. They collapsed soon after. Too much stress. Too much poison, years of bad habits. At the hospital, Ethan finally whispered. Mom, I'm sorry. I looked at him, calm and clear. You should be. And I walked away. Now I live alone, not lonely, just at peace. Daniel and I see each other often. He listens, he laughs, he never asks for anything. I grow herbs in my backyard. I take pottery classes. For the first time, I cook for no one but myself. No more giving everything away. Now I live for me, because love is not just giving, it's knowing when to stop.